So hi everybody and welcome to the video. This is mainly covering the basics. So I just want to make sure that everybody who gets into this industry really has an understanding of what marketing is and why it's connected. So today we're going to talk about hypnotherapy and therapy marketing. So why do they actually work so well? So if you think about what we actually do, we work with the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, a different part of the mind that your client doesn't normally be in. And that's where we make a lot of our purchasing decisions as well. So, a Harvard Business School professor, Gerald Zaltman, said 95% of our purchase decision takes place in the subconscious mind. So, to understand the mind is to understand also what pushes our buttons, what brings us towards the purchase that we feel. Mere 33 milliseconds is all it takes for our brains to make sure a decision as to whether we trust someone or not, and we're bound by our first impressions. And you can say the same also for our social platforms and our landing pages and our websites. It actually takes 55 milliseconds for visitors to determine whether or not they trust you. So knowing that is pretty important. We've all seen this before. Reptilian brain, limbic brain, and neocortex. So 95% of the decisions are made in the top two sections. Um, this is stuff that we don't have control over in terms of our heart rate, our breathing, our balance, compulsive behavior, unless we really focus in and concentrate on these areas. Normally, these are just on autopilot. So they're fast processing, driven by emotions. They care about the here and now. They're not future pacing or things like that. The logical, conscious thought things, they wouldn't be the place that we want to attack or target because those are decisions that'll be slow and take effort and not based on the future and how they can long term help. Um, and they're not the driver. So emotions are the driving force behind the decision making process. So, what does this mean for you and your company? Decision making involves multiple areas of the brain. The amygdala, hippocampus, for example, 95% of cognition exists in the subconscious mind, and that's from Gerald Saltman. Therefore, emotions are the drivers of decision making. So, if you think about your own situation, if you do have a house, you don't accidentally go out and buy a house. You sort of have to plan it. You have to go through approval. You have to get a down payment. You have to put through all this emotional process to viewing the house, picking the right one for your needs. Same could be said for a car, unless it's a cheaper one. People don't normally tend to buy cheaper cars. They tend to put a bit of thought into it because this is your daily machine that takes you from A to B. So most of our purchasing decisions are based in the emotional part. How can we have this problem that we want to get out of, so we buy with emotion to solve this problem. So the problem may be you have no transport. The problem may be that you have nowhere to live permanently, or that you're renting and you want to get out renting. The problem may be that you have a older phone that you want to buy and upgrade to get new features on it, or the problem may be that you can't live a day without being extremely anxious, or you want to quit smoking or something. So you want to target these people with emotions, not just the benefits or the features of what your product or service has. So in marketing, how do we use this information? So suggest action with images. This is Lead Pages, a company. This is one of their best performing advertisements that they put out. And I just want you to take a few seconds to try and work out why this would be their highest performing ad. So in the past, when I've done this talks in front of a group of people, I would normally ask for suggestions of why they think it is. And a lot of people say things like they're on the beach, they're happy, they're a couple, they're together, maybe the yellow writing, this sort of stuff. All great answers, but not the answers that we're looking for. So basically, if you use images of people, then the direction of their gaze can direct your reader's attention to where it's needed. So this is an example of how we use emotions and our psychology, not just buy my stuff, call me now, that sort of thing. So we need to subconsciously, as humans, we're directed towards the eyes. to see if there's any danger, to see what is this person looking at so I can avoid danger or go towards something really good. So using the gaze is a really good way of telling your influence and your viewers of where you want them to focus their attention on. So in this case, this lady's looking at free report reveals the 5 dirt cheap tools I use to create all my videos. So child labor put that child to work. So here's another example. When subjects were presented with an ad with the baby looking straight out of the page, the heat map, the green and yellow and red is what's called a heat map. This is a tracking device that we can put on our website to see where our eyes look at. So when the baby's looking out at us and our eyes go to the baby's eyes and they come back at us. So again, this shows that we're always focusing on the eyes when there's a person in it. But it's fixated in the baby's face and give quite a bit less attention to the headline and ad copy. In advertising, we'll look at what the person we see in an ad is looking at. If they're looking out at us, all we're going to do is look back at them and not really anywhere else. You can see the concentration on the right hand side. It's not that much. So what should you do? Simple little tweak in your message can deliver this exact same message to a wider group of people, because now we look at the baby's looking over, so now we look over, then we read down. The whole point of the headline is to read the subheadline. The whole point of the subheadline is to read the paragraph. The whole point of the paragraph is to get them to take a call to action. Here's other real world examples. So this is Sunsilk. As you can see the difference in the top versus the bottom. There's a lot more eye tracking movement in the middle because the lady's now looking to the product. Where else do we see this in real life? I bet you'll be looking for it everywhere now. So Coca-Cola, one of the biggest brands in the world, millions and billions of pounds into marketing. They've obviously figured this out, and that's what they run with. Pampers, again, a very trusted brand in the UK and Ireland. So again, the baby's face. We look at the eyes, we look at where it's looking, and we go directly to the headline. So just keep an eye out of how we can use these to manipulate's the wrong word, but influence our viewers and our clients on what we want them to look at and take action on. So this is always a popular one. This is another quick example of how we can influence behavior. So let me know in the comments of the video of this course if this actually works for you. You will read this first, then you read this, then this one, and lastly, you read the top. That's just the process that our eyes like to work into. The biggest headline first, then the subheadline, then the paragraph. So here's an example of marketing. If you walked into a restaurant and you were presented with ham, egg, and cheese on brown bread, how much would you typically expect to pay for it? Again, this is a question that we get asked, or I ask in the live setting, but we get a lot of answers varying from £3 right up to £7, depending, maybe a meal deal or something like that that comes into it. But essentially, you know what you're getting. You get ham, egg, cheese, and brown bread. So you expect to pay an average low level price for it. But using that same sandwich, and you go into a restaurant and read our breakfast power sandwich starts with a lean hardwood smoked ham and a freshly cracked egg. Then we add Irish farmhouse cheese for its tangy sharpness. Finally, we grill everything on our freshly baked bread, bring it out the grain's nutty, smooth flavors. So at this stage, what would you pay? It's the exact same product, it's just presented in a very different way. And again, this is an example of pointing out that people buy with emotions and their different senses, their different factors. This will be the olfactory that they're buying from that they tap into because they can already taste, they can already smell, they can already experience the sandwich rather than ham, egg, cheese. So just be aware whenever you're putting out your message that you align it with your client's emotions after you completed the avatar video and making the offer video as well. They'll give both of those videos will give you a very good sense of what you need to be looking at in terms of who your ideal avatar or client is. Once you get that information, then you can start to figure out what to say in your advertising, in your marketing, in your posts, in your beneficial, in your videos, that sort of stuff. So let's break it down. Why are we doing all this as business owners? So total population of Ireland, and I'm going to just focus in on Ireland. I know people are watching from the UK and America and all around the world, but this is the stats that we would primarily deal with. But again, it's not going to be a million miles away if we use the same stats from the UK and America. They're going to be similar, just obviously the higher population. So the total population of Ireland is 5.07 million, and of that, there's 5.38 million phones. People using the internet, 5.02. So social media identities, there's 4 million, 4.1 million. So a million people in the island of Ireland don't have social, which is a fantastic opportunity that there's 4 million people on the island that do. So the time spent with media. So the average person every single day spends 6 hours and 13 minutes using the internet. Out of that 6 hours and 13 minutes, they spend 2 hours nearly on social media. So that's a lot of time on a daily basis that people are on socials. So you have a lot of noise to cut through, but that's good. That's a positive because a lot of internet users will be blind to the usual sales pitches. So I want you to craft your message and craft your advertising onto this problems that you solve and how you can help them get over the problem that they have. So when you're talking about socials, we all are very familiar with Google, but this is the actual staggering amount that Google have market share of. So whenever someone has a problem or an issue or an inquiry or they want to buy something, they go straight to Google. 95% of the total traffic referred is from Google. Then you have Bing, then you have Yahoo and DuckDuckGo, etc. So the reason I'm bringing this up is if you have a website, there's also loads of free ways to get your site listed on Google so that you appear in a search. One of them would be Google Search Console. It's a free tool that Google provides you that you can access. And then Google My Business is the second one. That has what's called a map pack, where you can get your business onto the map so people can find you as well. It's very, very important for SEO, but that's a completely different video. So of the people that are using the internet, what are the main reasons for using the internet? Well, number one, finding information. So 77.4% of us go on to the internet from the age 16 to 64 to find information. So if you can be there providing them the answers to their questions, you've won. So again, they'll research how to do things, so how to ground themselves, how to do the box breathing, how to calm anxiety, how to quit smoking, those sorts of things. That's what they're actively searching for. Then they'll be staying in touch with family and friends, then keeping up to date with news and events, current events, community events, world events, then watching TV, watching videos, or watching movies. So if you're pumping out a lot of content on the YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok, etc., you'll cover that 57%. Then a lot of people research places, directions, vacations, travel. Then they research products and brands. 56% research products and brands. So you want to be in that percentile. Out of all the social media platforms that are available, in 2024, WhatsApp is still the most popular, then Facebook, then Instagram, then Messenger, and then TikTok, then X, LinkedIn, Snapchat, iMessage, and Pinterest. So some of these might have surprised you. Surprised me when I looked at them that it's still dominating. Facebook is still dominating above TikTok, even though we hear all the hype about TikTok. I'm a huge believer in TikTok, but I'm an even bigger advocate of Facebook. I think a lot of people are misguided when they think that they write it off, that it's not popular anymore or it doesn't have the right demographics on there and there more or psychographics. We'll go a bit deeper into what psychographics and demographics mean in a second. So online audio, podcasting, YouTube, 40% of us watch or listen to online music videos. Listen to streaming services, 44. Listen to online radio shows, 24%. So nearly half of us now are not listening to the radio anymore. Podcast is rising, 14%, up to 31. And then audiobooks is 11%. So back to the basics. Whenever I speak to a business that is just starting out or has been going for a while and maybe not having the results that they want, we always start by asking them, what do you want to achieve? What is your objective? Is it to sell more books? Is it to sell more product? Is it to provide better service? Is it to provide multiple services? Is it to help people do this or overcome this or anything? So you have to first ask yourself, what do you want to achieve online? Then identify your target audience, demographics. So that's who they are. Your demographics, there's a whole video on it. And then psychographics. So psychographics is why they are your clients. Demographics is who, psychographics is why. Then you find out where they hang out online and in the real world. Go there, and there's a full module on demographics and psychographics, which we call the avatar. But once you go there to the platform, you ask about their biggest fears, problems, and challenges to get your mind around what message you should be putting out there. Then you demonstrate your expertise through testimonials, through videos, through written long form, short form. Then you offer a solution to their problems and fears. This is called the PAS framework. So that's problem, agitate, and solve. We will be going into deeper into the PAS framework in another video too, but I just want a quick overview of we want to present the problem, we want to agitate the problem, and then offer a solution. Because, like we said, people buy from emotions. Nobody wakes up in the morning and wants to buy themselves into something. They want to buy themselves out of something. So they have a problem, they need a solution. The problem might be that they need strong black bin bags. And that could be a problem because they're always buying the cheaper ones or they're buying less quality ones. The problem could be that they've nowhere to take their dog for an indoor agility walk. So they'll be researching for a better place for it. The problem may be that they're experiencing too much insomnia. So they want to get that fixed as well or addressed. So whatever the problems people have, you need to be there to provide a solution. So we'll quickly go over demographics and psychographics. So demographics is the age, gender, race, location, employment status, the high level, just who you are, what that client looks like. The psychographics is then tells us more about who they are. So what is their personality? What do they hold most value? What is their attitude on things? What are they interested in? What is their lifestyle like? And it's crafting that picture super important. Just to give you an example, this is Amelia, the banker. So she's female, 25 to 40, married, has two children, and lives in the city. That's who she is, but that doesn't tell us anything about her. So then we break it down as that she wants to live a healthy lifestyle for her and her family. She's career orientated, but also wants some me time. She likes to spend time with her family, has to juggle housework with her banking work, and needs to buy products for different ages. So she's not just buying products for herself, she has to buy it for her kids also. She likes to hang out with her friends when she has the time. So hopefully that illustrates the difference in not only picking out who your client is and what they look like, but also what their values and psychographics are. This is a little illustration of the Facebook algorithm. So a lot of people think that I'm going to post too much and I'm going to annoy everyone. I'm going to turn people off from looking at my message. But here's a little breakdown of what the actual algorithm of how Facebook uses their formula to put your message out there. So first of all, on the left, when you post, it goes into what we call content quality scoring. And then that asks a few questions, and then that determines whether it goes out to 1% of your fans to then measure the benchmark. So things like, does it include native images and videos, which is sort of leaning towards, is it your stuff or are you sharing other people's stuff? If it is native to you, then that's good. Is it a live video? Live video works really, really well. So a yes is a positive. Does it include external links? No is a positive. And the reason why that's important is Facebook likes you to keep its audience on its platform. So it doesn't promote external links as much as you would like it to. I know you want to send people to your lovely new bright and shiny website, but Facebook doesn't always like that. So it can get demoted if you have a lot of external links on it. Again, is it clickbait? For obvious reasons, it's not really a good experience in their eyes of giving people clickbait headlines. So it'll demote that as well. Does it ask people to like, share, or comment? Again, this is engagement bait, so it doesn't like that either. Does it include words like free, sale, or promotion? Again, it's sales, so it's everybody forgets the first part of the word. It's social media. It's not sales media. So people don't go on Facebook to buy things necessarily. They go on to for all the reasons that we explained earlier. So has the same post been used before? If it's not original and you posted it 2 weeks ago or a month ago, or it will be demoted as well. So once it goes through all that, then it goes out to 1%. So if you've got 5,000 people on your list, it'll only go out to 1% of them. So you won't be bombarding everybody unless Facebook determines that it's such a good quality post that it will then go out. But on average, your every single post is probably not going to go out to every single one of your audience members. Is your page producing high quality content and using live video? So if it determines that your posts are always about you and it's always pixelated, or there's no graphics at all, if it's just written and there's no value in it, it'll eventually get demoted to, it'll be stopped being pushed out. Is your community having a back and forth discussions? So if there's comments, that counts as an engagement. So if someone comments, my best practice advice would be to like their comment, reply to their comment. So now all of a sudden you've 3 engagements, and engagement is the currency of social media. The more engaging you are, then the more that tells any platform that you have something to say that's of value. So have a read of that and we'll skip on. So we touched on engagement. I just want to know, what is your definition of engagement? So according to official platforms, engagement simply means getting your fans or readers or clients or followers to do something in response to your post. For example, like it, comment on it, click to open the picture, click on a link, or share. These are all forms of engagement, and each time one of these is done, social media platforms specifically measure these. If you're doing it from a personal account, there's no analytics at all. There's no way of tracking anything at all. And it's against Facebook's terms and policies to run your business from your personal page. You have to set up a business page. But when you do, you get free analytics to all these measurements. So that would be my massive recommendation. An example of engagement. So this one, for example, it was a meal for 2 giveaway. So give them a reason to celebrate going past 10,000 likes on Facebook. We're going to show appreciation. So instead of saying comment, like, or like, comment, and share, they'll put the word suits in, so that doesn't pick up by the algorithm. But it ended up with 187 reactions, 276 comments, and 84 shares. So that I would consider that to be quite a successful campaign. So here's 11 social media tips for driving engagement and revenue immediately. Number 1, consistency. This is the biggest reason that when people come to us and say we aren't getting the results that we would like or are expecting, and we look at their timeline of whatever platform they're on, and maybe they posted once a month or once a week, and it just doesn't show the public that you are the type of person that consistently can show up and give them value and give them information that they're looking for. So to build loyalty and trust, we need to show up consistently. Being on people's timelines and a few feeds on a consistent basis is key to building engagement on social media. Now remember, consistency is fantastic, but don't be thinking that you're going to bombard them with messages, because going back to the previous slides, it only goes to 1% of your audience first. So you're not going to annoy everybody, so don't be thinking that. Scheduling out things. This ties in with number 1. Plan out a posting schedule. The reason why we like programs like Emmerdale, Coronation Street, Fair City, all these different programs is because they offer consistency and they're scheduled to come out at a certain time. So we create then expectancy. So if you're doing Motivational Monday or Transformation Tuesday or Feel Good Friday on a regular basis, people will actually tune in to get your message because they're creating that expectancy of it. It's also a reason why people say they're not posting is because they don't have time. But if you block off an hour, say on the weekend or whatever, Friday, and you schedule out your posts, you don't need to touch it for the rest of the week. It'll just automatically come out. Then all you have to do is firefighting of answering the comments and getting back to people rather than thinking of the content and then having to rush to post it or create the graphic or things like that. So scheduling. So what does that look like? Maybe. So here's just an idea for Instagram content planner. Motivational Monday, ask a question, love what you do, discuss trending topics, blog post, promote an email list or other social media. Pause the video, have a look, maybe write down some inspiration of what you can do. Here's a blank template. So maybe Monday you do Facebook post, Twitter post, Instagram post, or LinkedIn, etc., etc. So another idea would be post photos or videos. So you get 60% more interaction with photos than you do for text alone. This amount also increases when on ads, when promoted Instagram. Instagram is a photo-driven app as well. TikTok is a video-driven app as well. So maybe I caption this photo question as an idea. Things like this work really well. Create a call to action. So giving people a task is good. Telling people in a non-salesy way to carry out an action will build engagement. If you put up a video and you don't include a call to action, people will not do anything because you haven't asked them to do anything. So they'll just consume your content and move on. So it's great for views and likes, but that doesn't actually translate into anything. If you give people a call to action, like consider this for a moment or hit the notification bell, there's a reason why people on YouTube say all these things. Because if they don't, people won't do it. They'll forget. They'll be too enthralled in the content. So rather than a call us now for all your weight loss needs on 02871, that's very salesy. That's a call to action, but it is super salesy. Ask questions. So for example, what are you most afraid of? Get people to vote with their emojis. Spiders, public speaking, clowns, mice, rats, etc. Or a post like share your best advice in 4 words or less. This actually gives people a soapbox then to give their opinion across and get some recognition on a public page of what they think their best advice is. Cross-promote platforms. So what do we mean by this? So this isn't to be confused with posting the exact same message on all platforms, but this is to inform your audience that you are available on other platforms. Tell them how to follow, and they're also for more unique content. This graphic, for example, the yellow box is this person's Snapchat on their Instagram page. So he's telling people to go over to Snapchat to view more content. Posting the same message on each platform is very much frowned upon because essentially what you're saying is I couldn't be arsed to think of different messages to put on different platforms. I'm just going to spam the same message across different platforms. But if you get into your head that platforms are like shopping centers or different department stores, people go in for different reasons. So why would you push the same message on every single different platform? So for example, you've created a great video that wouldn't really translate across every single thing because each of your audience on that platform can be different. Engage independently. As with number 6, don't use the exact same content on all platforms. Think of each platform's usage. Why would someone like to visit Instagram? Probably not to read a big long article that you posted on LinkedIn. So respect the platform and the culture of why they're there. Who goes on to LinkedIn to see a picture of things that you would normally expect to see on Instagram, like a motivational picture with a quote and things like that? People go on for different reasons. So ask yourself, why do people visit Facebook? Why do people visit Instagram? Why do people visit X or Twitter? Why do people use Snapchat? Why do people visit TikTok? And then craft your content around that reason. Hold contests and giveaway. So create a fun and engaging giveaway. It doesn't devalue your product or service. Discounts are transparent. Everybody knows, like, a 10% discount, it doesn't really, all you're doing is cutting down your margin. You're not losing out on anything. So people don't like necessarily huge discounts. They know what you're trying to do. Fun and engaging giveaways. If you're giving away free trips to this or free things to that, all you're doing is attracting people who like free things and who won't translate into customers. So I had this example before. There was a solicitor client that I had who wanted to run a trip to the Galgorm, which is a huge big spa, hotel and spa. And he got over 1,050 people added on to his followers of his page. But as soon as the competition was over and he chose a winner, about 800 of them dropped off because they weren't interested in following the solicitor's advice or page. They were interested in getting the free trip to the Galgorm. So it didn't really work out well for them. Giveaways are always good, although tempting. Avoid using terms like tag a friend, because that shows up as negative in the Facebook algorithm that we already touched upon and is against their terms and service, so you could be banned. Instead of tagging a friend, you could put in words like, who would you bring with you? Or who would you share this product with? That's a different way of saying tag your friend. So it's getting around the lexicon of the wording of that post. Don't be salesy. People don't wake up in the morning itching to go on Facebook to see what products are for sale. Be social. Be social. Give value always and forever. So just in a display of contrast, we'll put up these two ads. The top one is basically a sales post. We're open 10 to 5:30, Friday to Saturday. Some appointments available. 143 Strand Road, Derry, 02871. Da, 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 da. There's no value in this at all. It's a call to action. Yes, it's great, but there's a phone number that's not clickable, an address that's not clickable on Google Maps, opening hours. So it reached 4,500 people, and out of the 4,500, only 22 people cared enough to give likes and comments and shares. So I would put this down to be unsuccessful. Even though it reached that amount of people, nobody cared. Versus the bottom one is the exact same business, given value, showing you how to tie the perfect tie knot, and a video demonstrating it. So this reached 5,400 people, and out of that, nearly 50% watched the video, 72 likes, comments, and shares. It got a lot more engagement, it got a lot more playthroughs, it built a lot more trust and giveaway value, and didn't enter into any sales approach. But the next time you're tying a tie, if you learned it from this business, you'll think of that business and that will be reinforced the message in your head. Hold flash sales when promoting. So organically, it's never advisable to be salesy until you put money behind it and go into paid advertising. Then it becomes sponsored. Then it's okay as long as you tie it into your product and your brand story and you communicate in some sort of value of a benefit of why they should buy your product or service. Integrate your social medias. So if you have an existing website, make sure you have a pixel set up. We'll have a video on how to set up your pixel, your tracking pixel, Google Tag Manager, Facebook Pixel, whatever. But also at the footer or somewhere on your header, maybe, if you link back to your social media accounts, like this one, Keep It Social. So cross promoting, these are also called backlinks as well. So hopefully this video has opened up your eyes to some of the basic things that we need to keep an eye on. If you have any questions, put them in the question boxes below, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible, and look forward to seeing you on the next module. Speak soon.